Isn't it rich? A pair, me here at last on the ground, you in midair, sending the clouds.
Good day, good night, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I mean, they shot down I was gonna suggest that we sing some kind of like tabernacle, get some tambourine, like exercise the spirit, like get a whole on revival. But we are heathens, so I mean,
No, sending the clowns. Perfect. Who said it? Did Roger Federer said it best? We need a clown for this
mean,
Ooh, Lord.
circus.
He sure did. Yes, he
look,
did.
look. Good day, good evening, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have our guest Pablo back with us today. But before I go any further, let me introduce my co-host and my guest, Andreen. Welcome from Solely Tennis Travel. How are you?
I am very, very good. I'm delighted to join you all after discovering the tennis after returning home.
I mean, she's saying that like if she's a guest, like if she don't work here, and happy to join you all, like we're mixed
Thank you for
company.
having me. It's been such a joy.
I mean, could you believe her? Yeah.
We didn't know
One match,
you.
and she's feeling herself. Look,
Listen, I think I had a better time than you all because I went to a movie. But
Which
let's
I had an
continue.
amazing time.
bless you all.
it's always good when you're hit watching something and what you want to happen happens. I mean,
Yes.
it's like,
No, but I do
All right.
that too many times. But go ahead.
and we have Janina from Far Ohio. How are you, girl?
I mean, I'm fabulous. I don't think I've stopped smiling for like an hour. I mean, like, Jesus, praise all of the
And it's
gods.
Jehovah. He is real. He is
He
real.
is very real. I mean,
And we have our guest Pablo.
amazing.
How are you doing, Pablo? I mean, Pablo, ladies and gentlemen, Pablo might be knocking out after we talk about the ladies because I don't think he slept this entire fortnight. I don't think he has.
I don't,
mean-
Pablo. You've been watching a lot of tennis, Pablo.
I have. I've watched
mean-
practically everything. Good evening, tennis Jehovah. And thank you, thank you for your blessings and deliverance. No, the reason I might knock out early, but I hope not to, is someone has to mop up Novaxx tears.
Oh,
So,
You're gonna volunteer.
luckily
Andrew,
for
you missed
him,
him. He
Yes?
broke down. He was gushing.
oh my
Tears flowing.
God. You know what? Let me just say, in a moment of inserting something offline, whoever writes those romances between Novak and Federer, you all better get to it because this is a perfect scene.
Wait,
For-
that's a thing? That's a
Yes.
thing?
Yes,
Yes,
it's called
yes.
flash friction. I did not
Oh,
partake
Jesus
in that
Christ.
mess.
All right, well,
But
listen.
it's a
We're
big
not
thing.
gonna be here all night. We're gonna do a nice, quick, tight wrap up for you. So let's jump right in with the ladies.
Oh,
We
sounds
like it tight. We like it tight.
We
Sounds like a
it.
good time. Sounds like Nole time,
Unlike
actually.
Nole, because Nole was just like loose all over that court. But hey,
Ooh, hoo, hoo,
Okay,
hoo.
so the ladies.
the second week in the ladies. I mean, full disclosure, Andreen, from Solely Tennis Travel, as a wonderful as she always is, and shady, but she's wonderful. She sent me months ago. She said we have a date. We're gonna go to the ladies semis. We've been to the ladies semis several times before, actually. But you're just like, we gonna go. But we know the ladies semis is the ladies semis, and it's usually you don't get magic only in the quarterfinals, around the 16, and in the finals maybe. But the ladies semis, just never delivers. Just never delivers. And let me just say, I mean, Andre got me some tickets, and the ladies semis, right on cue, did not deliver. I mean,
my
I
God.
wanted my
You know
money back,
what?
and I didn't even spend any money. I was so mad that somebody had to spend money for this thing, and I had amazing seats. You know what? I wish I had watched. I was watching a show, like that on the court they were doing something else. They were having a band practice or something. Whew.
And can I tell you all,
Exactly.
Reels is fantastic. Reels did not take off his mask once, and he gave
I was
every
wearing
single
two.
person a side eye.
Oh, let me tell you something
know he
about
did
Andreen
too.
too. Meanwhile, we are in the land of Layla. Okay, there is Canada all around, bacon all around. Okay, and this girl is like, "Come on, Sabalenka, come on, girl. You are not. Listen to me." I said, "Look, I am not trying to fight anybody in this stadium because all they gotta do is cough on me and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm over. It's
my
over.
God.
Somebody gets too boisterous
It is
and
true
the
though.
saliva come out, and it's just like I'm just tumbling down otter eyes. I'm just like, save me, Jesus. She was
I
like
was
in the an old man is next to me, no mask on, homeboy is coughing. And I'm like, I'm just
he
trying to
turned
just
he turned around and he's like, "What are you doing?"
No,
what
he
is
didn't. No, he didn't.
And I said, "I want 3 cents. I just want 3 cents."
I'm like, why
Did
are
you
we
say we
doing
don't
here?
cough in a pandemic?
Look,
We
Don't
don't
tell these
cough, we don't
people.
sneeze, we don't blink sideways.
Look, I think we were the only people wearing masks, and everyone was. Listen to me. Let me tell you how close we were. I could read everybody's phone. I could read the text messages. That's how close you are in Ash. And though you have space for your knees, God bless anybody who's over 6 feet tall, because trust me,
Oh,
you are in a box.
okay, Reels forgot the most important thing about our date. Tell them as we were leaving
Oh
who
my
we
God!
saw. Who we
Let me tell you
saw.
something.
Ooh.
Do you know who we saw? And I kept this a secret from Janina.
You sure
We
did, motherfucker.
guess who we saw?
Who?
We
Is it a
saw
tennis
last
person or
year's
a non?
we saw last year's savior of the US Open, that Lions woman. She was there in uniform. And
You
I
know,
spoke to her. And I
Reels
said,
doesn't like anybody. He don't care about nobody. And he was like, "I want a picture with her."
I said, "Can I have a picture?" And she
No,
said,
you didn't.
"I sure did." And she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't." You know, and I felt bad for her because for a moment I just like, God, this is really horrible because I'm really using
You
this
asked
woman
for a
just to get
picture.
some tweets. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not concerned about her safety. I mean, and like, I'm sure she wants to live this moment now. She was in pain. I mean, it was a
Oh my
horrible
God.
experience.
Was
And I
she,
just
was she,
want to joke.
was she
Why
still
couldn't
wearing
she
a
give it
neck
to you?
brace?
Well, look,
Janina, she couldn't move her head. She was still in a neck brace.
She's waiting for that money. That's
look,
why.
and she
She
looked
was
like a
great.
very sweet lady.
Yes,
And
she
I was
was.
just like,
She
well,
was very
afterwards,
apologetic.
yeah. And after she said no, I can't. And I think in my mind, I was just like, she's lying. And then I was like, oh my God, that's so horrible. I was just gonna take a picture of her joke, and that was horrible of me. In the age of social media, I checked myself, but I was
Yes.
just happy I saw her. She's alive and well, and she's out here saving tennis world. You know what I mean? And we thank her for the victory last year, because let me tell you something. That finals last year, no, they would have run through that. Like, I'm telling you, it would
Well,
have been
anyway, let's get back to the ladies. The
the ladies.
semifinals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ask her how much was the check the USTA cut her?
Look, she looked well. That's all I'm gonna say. She looked
Oh
well.
my
She
God.
looked
I
like
can't
she's
believe you
fed.
did
She
that.
looked like she's
That is
lotioned.
hilarious. That's hilarious. I
I
can't believe
mean,
you kept that from me. I'm proud of you for doing that. I am. But damn, that is
wait till I tell it to you.
low.
Yes, Tony, I did show my face with double mask. So I mean, hey,
No, I
you
didn't
got
see. I
something.
only saw his beautiful eyes. That was it.
You got
But
something. You got something. Look, I mean, honestly, Andre and I had a really good time, and and Steph in the U.S. Mountain Girl, the honeydew is better frozen, not when
yes,
they're selling you a bag of ice. Let me just
yes,
tell you how. From next year
the
on, she's gonna
alcohol
be
hits better. The alcohol hits much better.
yes, it does.
I'm just letting you all
Because
know.
guess
People don't want
what?
to know.
All that liquid in it is just Grey Goose. That's all you
Yeah.
know.
Oh my
So
God.
the blending
Yeah.
a lot better, because
Yep.
you can't taste the Minute Maid in that one.
Nope.
So
But
right
anyway,
here in the
mhm.
comments, we have the sentiment of Andrine and Reels, that I don't think. Well, I'm not sure what Pablo's is. I do not share this opinion. As far as the women love the teens, Corey says, but the WTA ladies should be ashamed of themselves.
I
Okay,
agree.
okay, you know what? Let's have a conversation, because I
Yes.
know that people want to say, well, it just shows the depth of the WTA. It's all wonderful and good. And let's be honest, lovely to see those two teenagers in that final. But let's talk about these ladies who did not perform and prevent this from happening. None of them showed up. They didn't
Look,
fight.
Listen to
Nope.
me.
Maybe
Sorry, go
they
ahead,
showed
Pablo.
up. Maybe they showed up, but just showed who they really were. None of them.
What does he mean?
None of them seized the moment.
None. Absolutely. You know what? Everything. Let me just say, and then I'll stop. I talked to Reels, and I said to Reels, you remember when Lena turned to us and said, Serena Williams is not here. This my time. None of these ladies looked around and said, this is my time. None of them. The kids did it. The kids said, this is it. Let's go.
Exactly. Because there is so much to be. Let me tell you something. And the thing that really pissed me off, listen to me, I wanted to jump down on Ash and just push Sabalenka and just push her, say, sweetie, the baseline, touch it, stand on it. At every moment, stand on that shit. Let me tell you something. And the thing that really pissed me off the most beyond, it's just that, I mean, to Pablo's point about they showing who they really are. I mean, Sabalenka, do y'all ever see? I mean, it hits different when you're in the stadium. I swear to God. I mean, I'm just saying because you're seeing it live. I mean, maybe you're not being clouded by the noise that's coming from the parrots on the television. But Sabalenka was just literally just spreading her legs wide. There was no crouching. She'll hit herself and just stand up and just stand there. I was just like, what you doing? So all Layla had to do was just redirect, deal with the pace. Layla's serve was predictable. Where we were sitting, I could be. Alexandrine, I was just like, she's gonna serve down the tee. And at so many times, I mean, Layla did not hit her serve over 100. I'm almost sure of that. I'm sure her average serve was probably 89 miles an hour.
I think she did one every now and then. She do a 102, something like that. That's about it.
Her typical first serve is about 102, 104. But just apart from the general, they didn't turn up. I think they did, but they demonstrated something which we all have, and that is we crumble under pressure. None of them were clutch. Bencic, Sabalenka, Eve Kerber, at the crucial moments of the match, they folded. They just collapsed. And you didn't see, when you see Serena in positions like that 10, 15 years ago, you know what is going to happen. She's going to nail it. None of these girls had any of that clutchness about them.
But the thing I liked about what I would say about the teenagers is that they showed up with a game plan. Mm-hmm. They had a game plan and
Smart
they executed. They didn't get phased because let me tell you something. Had the old school WTC Layla Fernandez across the net and she was throwing over 89 miles an hour, and then they would have been like, sweetie, send them every day. I mean,
pressure, stand aside.
I mean, Sabalenka refused to come in on the second serve. I was like, sweetie, are you Dominic Thiem? Who is across the net? Who is on the other side? Is it what's that? Is it Riley Opelka? Because I mean, there's no reason for you to be on the in the depths of the marshes over there. Just like, what are you like? At no point did she even readjust the game to be like, okay, all right, then I fucked up on the first set. Okay, let me get my shit together. What was happening here?
This is a very good specific point, Reels, because if you looked at the so-called stars, they didn't adjust for second serve return. Both Layla and Emma, you see them completely change their return position for second serve and jump on things. And this made such a huge difference. And in some ways, the Bencic and Sabalenkas had too much respect for these teams.
How? How can they have that much respect?
By not jumping on by not crushing their second serves. Both of them serve in the sort of high 70s second serve.
I think you're giving them too much respect, because let me tell you something. They came out there with, you know what? I got the impression that these people came out there, the opponent. I mean, with the exception of Naomi. Naomi just basically had a mental breakdown. Collapsed. You know what I mean? She was, and in fact, I think she allowed later to just basically think, you know what, I'm really in this. I'm still in this. But had she played first, whatever the case may be. Naomi, she's tired, whatever. No match practice. Right. No match practice, whatever the case may be. Let that go. Right? But all the other matches, Angelique Kerber, you beat Serena Williams for 2 majors. Sweetie, what are we doing here? Emma Raducanu, I mean, she don't even know probably where the locker room is at the US Open. She don't even know how to get from point A to point B. And none of you ladies didn't even give her 3-set match. You didn't even
None.
push her to 5. You
None.
didn't even get 5 games in a set.
I mean, let's be honest about that. What was going on there? Because Layla, I can understand. Now, Raducanu, sure, she had a big serve, but did no one try to test her movement? Because all I'm thinking about is that match between her and Tomljanovic. And Tomljanovic had that girl running ragged. She was running ragged. And I thought to myself, well, surely someone will remember that match and say, see if I can get her in some rallies. Nobody took her to rallies longer than what, five shots?
And in crucial moments, you could see that serve ready to break down.
Yes, but they never tested it. Never tested it.
Hang on.
Pick your spot.
Two things that have improved.
So interesting.
Two things that have improved enormously since Wimbledon for Raducanu. One is her serve. It was very resilient throughout the whole 9
It was never tested.
Played.
Yeah.
It was never tested. True.
And secondly, her footwork and her movement is so good now. She's so sharp, so quick, faster than she was at Wimbledon. And Wimbledon is different because it's grass.
Well, yes. But I can't buy it. I don't buy it because you know what? I just don't buy it because she's lumbering. She's quite lumbering. So this idea that she's fleet of foot is not, it doesn't bear through. Nobody tested her. Nobody tested her.
I think Jasmine just put in, it seemed like no one did research on opponents anymore. Thank you, Jasmine.
That was the thing. None of them. They didn't try a game plan. They didn't shift it up. Nobody tried anything. That was weird to me.
Hang on. There's a fascinating point. The two people who did do research on their opponents were Layla and Emma.
Yeah, they were the only ones. You can tell.
You can see, and when you look at the team, basically Emma had her coach is the best. His best mate is Tim Henman. So you're drawing on
all that knowledge
was in her camp, and you're basically getting a team that's normally supporting one of the ATP players supporting her, and they were talking with Tim on one because he was on Amazon Prime as a commentator as well, and he was just dissecting each one of the WTA players' games minutely.
Yeah, Andy was doing the same thing. Andy Murray was doing the same thing. He was like telling everybody. She had so many notes. And
same with stand up for the crown, Pablo. Look, I mean,
hang on, sorry, just this point on Layla. Same with Layla, her father doing all of the strategy, even down to the point of, I think I showed you that clip of her box reminding her she has to smile after points.
Of course, because we all know nobody likes a mousy looking dark girl. Yeah. You got to put on that smile.
Yes, don't look or stir or anything.
Yeah, don't look like you're not enjoying yourself. Mm-hmm.
It's a good psychology.
But let me tell you,
it was very good for them.
I mean, Layla, listen to me. At one point, Layla kept serving straight down, like literally right down. And it was just like, you can tell from where they're standing where the serve is going to go. And I'm just like, okay, my God. Serena Williams has lived on this store for 40 years. Are we not teaching children how to disguise your ball serve, even if you don't want to follow Serena? Roger Federer. I mean, one of the greatest same ball toss. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't have to overpower your opponent. And I was looking at Sabalenka. Sweetie, you can hit you could kill me. Okay? You can kill me with a serve. And you're just standing there. Just like, and oh my God, 3 double faults in a row?
No quick step. She had no quick step. She had no quick step.
Listen to me. She had no step. Like just one. And Sakari. I'm like, girl.
Yes. But you know what? I was wondering, do you think that Sakari just gave it her all in that match? Because she had nothing left in that second semifinal.
I mean, look. The greatest accomplishment Sakari did was to win 4 games in that second set. That was it. Because look, all these other girls had to do at some point was just hang around. They gonna make the errors. And I have to say, for one thing, they were playing clean games, right? They were not giving loose, reckless errors.
Well, especially not Emma. Not Emma.
Exactly.
For sure. Emma wasn't doing that.
This Spanish girl, I'm just like,
which Spanish girl?
Sorribes Tormo.
Yes.
Sorribes Tormo.
Win 1-2 games, and I'm just like, sweetie, what?
Well, I
telling
mean,
me from a
She got one
playthrough?
game. She got a break stick.
To lovely
And that,
drama girl's point, you know what? To be honest, listen, this tournament was an outlier
mhm.
completely, because let's just say what's going to happen next year. The WTA is going to be all over these two
Oh,
women.
Cornet is making notes.
They're
Cornet
not
is
even they're going to get bageled. All kinds of things are going to happen. But for this moment, it was lightning striking just here, because that's what always happens. I mean, this is what's also it's not that odd. It's odd because it's teenagers, but how many? This is the Ostapenko, right? This is like even Lena, like people
Tricheva,
playing,
Melina. I
yeah,
mean, this
people
is
playing
Sloane
out of
Stevens.
their
This is
head for like
exactly
7 matches, and you're like, what? And then they never go back there again, right? They're just like perennial top 20 players and doing whatever. But somehow or another, it is true. There is a moment where people just kind of like they lose themselves and they bring no game plan to somebody brand new. That's how Bianca did it. That's how Bianca did it at Indian Wells.
But yeah, but
And
look what
and
happened. And
she doesn't play often enough for anyone to get her game, to be honest.
no,
Let's
no,
be
but
real.
also look what has happened. People have seen how she plays, and they have a
Yeah.
game plan now.
Yep.
So she struggled. She struggled in every tournament she's played in. She's been taken to 3 sets in most rounds, and she
Mhm.
doesn't make it through to the business end of the tournament.
Not anymore. No, I mean,
Mhm.
but
And
that's what's in store for these young ladies. I
yes,
mean, I was talking to listen, I think Emma is wonderful, and I think she's probably going to be around for a while. She probably doesn't ever have to work again, but she seems to be interested in working. We I mean, please don't put any pressure on her. I don't think that this lovely woman is going to be a repeat Grand Slam person, right? This is probably going to be the wonderful Cinderella thing. And, strike me if she does repeat it again. I think it'd be amazing. But she's certainly not going to repeat it in like straight set fashion again. This was a once in a lifetime moment for her. But it is kind of weird that it takes WTA ladies so long to recover when a new person decides to go on a run. It is really odd. They don't. Coaches don't call each other. What's going on here? Tell me about this girl. What's happening? You're not
right.
watching tape.
Exactly. I mean, you could forget her come out of the qualies, but by the time you see her fourth round of 16, there's Emma. I'm just like, she's an opponent. Get your notes together. Look at
Yeah.
what you're doing. I mean, what seemed to be the thing was that I thought they were thinking she's gonna have a heart palpitation issue again. That's what
No,
we're
they
waiting
kept
for.
waiting. Yeah, they kept waiting for her to fail, and she didn't fail herself. Which
Exactly.
props to her. She did not. She said, "You know what?" The interesting thing is, I heard a quote from her saying she felt no pressure because she's 18 years and she's just hitting the ball. I was like, "Girl, of course you feel no pressure. We thought you were going to lose in qualies." The pressure comes when people
When there's an
now expect
expectation,
things
yeah.
from you. Like you're gonna have to defend those points that you now have. That's the pressure point. And it'll be interesting to see how she rallies around that. But man, whew, these older ladies, let these children run
I
roughshod
mean,
through it.
I mean, and let me say
but
a word for Layla because I mean, I thought she played beautiful. I mean, yes, she made errors, but you know what? In the crucial clutch moment, she was clutch. She
Yeah.
was the one standing up there, and she never
Hmm.
got five.
I
I mean, because I think in almost all of her matches, except I mean, like she was down an
The
early break.
final. Yeah.
yeah,
The
She
yeah.
was
final
down an
she was
early
No,
break.
no. Her run was more spectacular in my view, basically because of who she took out, and the
yep.
fact that in all of those matches she was down and had to drag herself out of adversity, and she did it on the fly. She changed her game plan, she adapted, she was and she pulled herself through. But the one thing I would say is these WTA women deserve this slam. They deserve to be punched by these teenagers, and
Yes, they
I
did, because
hope
they
it
didn't
teaches
show
them
up.
a lesson. Precisely.
Look,
And you have people like Benchett saying she wants to be part of the complaining about Naomi wanting to still be part of the conversation. Girl, where were you?
I know.
Your golden moment to build on your Olympic gold, and you folded
Yeah. Pretty
didn't
bad.
even
like a
take a
cheap
step.
fan.
Didn't even take a step.
She folded like a cheap fan.
Oh my god! And I'm just like saying, and you know, like people like you're just looking at, oh my god, Mugs, why did you even take out? Why did you even mess with Vika? This was Vika's U.S. Open because there is no Serena anywhere in the vicinity. Just like nowhere. Okay, whenever Vika shows up to win the U.S. Open, who does she meet? Serena Williams. Serena Williams is just cop blocking Vika, and Vika Mugs took you out. which was a solid match. And then Muggs folded over Krejcova and then talking some shit about unprofessional. Sweetie, you are unprofessional here because I don't understand how you are here fighting the Williams sisters with ease, taking majors, and still over here stumbling over Krejcova.
Yeah, I mean,
Krejcova, sorry. I mean, come on.
Just to Andrine's point about where Raducanu goes from here, I do think she has potential. Definitely, she's a top 20 player, and she may be a top 10 player. But my concern is her game, because she plays open stance and she's very low to the ball. She's going to have to worry. Yeah, she's going to have to worry about injuries because that kind of model of play.
Yeah, and she has
puts stress on your joints much more. Yeah. So, but
you know what? She's great though because she's got Max Eisenbud as her agent. She is, and now she's whipping out some Mandarin. Okay, let's bring it. Okay, let's just bring all the cash and throw it right at her because she's about to make bank. And you know what?
I just this point I make about this. She will make a lot more money in the non-traditional tennis sponsorship. So she will go to the fashion. She will go to the fashion houses, and she will cream it. Absolutely cream it there. She can still have a clothing sponsor and a label and a shoe sponsor, etc. And she can do a bank and all the rest of it. But her money is going to be made sitting next to Rihanna and all the rest of them at LVMH.
Well, listen, however she makes it. But I will say, a couple of things.
The only point I would make there is she needs a different agent to do that because the IMG people are not into that in the same way that other talent agencies are. But let's see.
But you know what? But he can follow the Sharapova model. Sharapova was making money from bags, from this, from that. I think he'll. But the other thing I think was
never, ever, never the top labels.
Never
couture, never a luxury brand.
Because she doesn't have the
her perfume sponsor was Avon.
Her shoulders.
Her perfume sponsor was Avon.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I think the interesting thing, I've heard a couple of observations, and I'd like to run them by you too. And yes, where is Janina? Someone said, what do you all think this does for someone like Naomi? Because let's be honest, this is a cutthroat space. And does Naomi look around and say, listen, am I going to take all my Asian money? What's going on here? And like, does that generate a sense of like, you know what, these kids are coming up in here and they don't care. This is my space. I want it. I'm just curious, what's going to get the fire under her belly. And then the second thing I'm curious about is, where does Emma stand in sort of like the British public's eye? Because I've been hearing things that she is not being well received because people don't perceive her as British enough.
Well, so the Queen said congratulations.
Well, the Queen will say that.
I mean, the Queen is trying to make sure she's not a racist, right? She's happy for color people of color, just doing something spectacular.
Okay, let me tell you something about her Madge. Earlier this week, they leaked out that the royal family are big supporters of the Black Lives Matter. I'm being serious.
Yes, I saw that somewhere. And someone was just like, "What about reparation, though?"
Okay. In terms of her being received as being British, overwhelmingly, she is accepted as British. What they're using her, those people who support immigration, are using her position to beat around the head dirty little racists who say they don't want Romanians living next to them or they should stop these people coming across the channel. So she is wedded into the British psyche at the moment. She's the golden girl, and that will bring its own pressures. It's just she's a very useful battering ram against those dirty little racists who particularly belittle Romanians or Asians.
Well, it also gives them a showpiece, right? She's also a great showpiece to suggest that there's real diversity in British tennis, right?
Well, we have to move on, but I just want to say that, listen, this is what we've been saying we wanted, and it happened, so don't bitch about it.
Well, let's not bitch about it, though, but somebody else said, are we horrible for watching this? I thought it was a fabulous ride, though.
This was so fun. I have enjoyed, and Tony and I talked about this, we've not enjoyed tennis this much in so long.
I completely agree.
It
Absolutely.
was
This
fun.
And the one
tournament
little
as a
thing,
whole was amazing.
yeah,
And I
the
have to
one
say that
little
the
thing to say on
finals was
Layla,
quality. I did
Wait,
enjoy the
wait,
final.
one
Sorry.
second. Sorry. Finish out your Layla point, Pablo, and then real.
the one little thing to say on Layla, I think just observing her over so many rounds, she absolutely has the killer instinct.
Yes, she does.
Whether she has the game to sustain it, I don't know, but she means business, and
Yeah,
you could see in her face and
the
body
hunger.
I
language,
love that. I love that.
and
I love
not just
that.
that, but when she lost, the contempt I think she had for the situation. How could I lose this?
Yep.
And I that it tells you where she wants to get to. She's she's going to be mean, really
She's going to
mean.
be good, but she just needs to work on that serve. The other thing I will say, and somebody
Mhm.
said this to me, and this is true, y'all. These two young ladies know how to speak.
Yeah,
Amen.
Amen.
I need all the WTA ladies to listen to this. Show up like this. Be poised like this. Be
When
charming
did you
and
know that you could
articulate.
beat Naomi Osaka before it
Yes.
started? Boom, bitch. Boom.
And the
What did you say?
9/11 moment, the nine
no, no,
eleven
no, no,
moment,
no, no. I'm
whether
going
it
to
was
stand up.
poised or whether it was pretend
No,
or not, it doesn't matter.
no.
You know
It
what?
does.
People
It
come
does.
there to be entertained. They come
That
there
was
for you to
come
put
on.
on a show.
That
And
was
to get
fake
up
ass.
there, no, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Nobody
matter because
wants
it
your
worked.
tears. It worked because you know what? They both came across as poised and thoughtful people
Yep.
and
All right.
understood the moment and ready to
Another
And
embrace the
and
moment.
here's the thing. And here's the thing. They are not a product of the moment. They are, as Layla
They are
pointed
not.
out,
They weren't even born.
they weren't
Yep.
even born.
yeah.
So they live in a different world than we perceive a world that they will that we live in. They live in a completely different. They understand surveillance and internet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean.
Actually,
That's
just
like
sort of
built
one. All
into.
right, one little bit of on Emma because we
Nope.
discussed
Nope.
it
Nope. Nope.
earlier.
Nope. Nope.
No, no,
Nope.
it's
Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. It's 8:05.
Wait,
Remember
wait,
the
wait, wait,
rules.
wait, wait. Let him finish and then we go. Finish your
uh,
point, Pablo.
she hadn't called her parents on a long call in the 3 weeks that she was in New York. She gave her phone away to her
Smart.
either the coach or the and just sat in the room watching stuff on Netflix or listening to music or whatever. Now, she's at a point now where she's still inside the LTA program, but she's not at the training academy. So she can exit out of that very quickly. She can get rid of the people in the LTA she doesn't want to work with, and she's already started to do that. She can afford to get around her the very best quality team, and that may make the difference with her. Okay, sorry, Janine, I'm done.
That's
Well,
good. That's good news.
I just want to
Just keep
address.
her away from Nigel Sears. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I just want to address. This has been, I mean, any amount of contention for me, but I'm just simply saying that I enjoyed the women's final. It was quality tennis. I mean, the weaknesses of both players showed up. I'm just simply saying. I mean, the other ladies, the 2000 ladies, the Capriati, the Martina Hingis, and all those people, just like I wish this was across the net for me. But I would say how the match, and again, we have poor officiating. I mean, they're not handling these moments and not thinking of the big picture. Yes, Emma was bleeding, but she didn't lose a leg.
No,
And what she
come on, let's
Pablo,
be
Pablo,
fair.
Pablo, 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 let me finish. And you can say whatever you want to say, but I'm just gonna say a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. You won't change
Oh
my mind.
dear.
And I'm just simply saying that yes, she was bleeding. Yes, this is the rule, whatever the case may be. None of that is being debated, none of that is being taken away. What happened? She got a reset. She went and she sat down, she took water, she took thing. It was blood. You could mop it up. And I know the people, the contention that it is still bleeding. Clearly, she's still walking and she's still moving about. No one was concerned about the blood after the fact. At this crucial moment, and it's very it's very it's easy, it's understandable that Layla could have felt done in because again, the umpire did not inform her that a medical timeout was happening here. And legit, as in the moment, the people who will Chris Everett and all of them were just like a medical timeout for a band-aid. What is this? This is crazy. People get scraped and cut on the court all the time.
And you
They
get your
mop it
towel
up,
and you wipe that shit up.
wipe it shit up, and move on. In that moment, and it isn't. It's true. More than likely, Emma would have won the match. But here's the thing: Layla had broken her before, so it wasn't unheard
Yep.
of that this match could have gone on. This wasn't one of those like crucial, crazy point that like it couldn't have would have. it was clear that Emma was the moment
And the
was
crowd
getting
was behind her.
and
The
the crowd
crowd
was
was
behind
ready
it.
because they
It was
wanted a
getting
third set.
right. So I
Okay.
mean, she got a reset. No, it is what it is, right? We can't change the fact, whatever the case. She got the trophy, whatever the case may be. You people can talk about the rules and the rules and rules. It was handled wholly by the umpire. We do not have a medical timeout every single time someone got a cut on a scrape on code. We don't.
sure don't.
We don't. And
No.
particularly in
Let,
this
let, let's
moment,
come on.
in
Let's
this
do this
crucial
fairly.
moment, it is very easy. And as Layla pointed out to the umpire, the supervisor, it said, I was not informed of what was happening here. You just
Yeah, it was
literally just
confusing.
exactly.
No,
She
no,
just
confusing.
no,
walked
no, no,
off the
no.
courts, sat down.
Okay. Let me call bullshit on this Layla pretense that she didn't know what was going on. Let's go through this. If you get cut on the court and it isn't bleeding, you can carry on. As soon as the blood starts running, you have to stop, and it has to be assessed, and you have to patch it up. You don't get an MTO immediately because you have to be assessed whether a plaster can go straight on it and you get back on court and you don't need an MTO, or you do need to go into an MTO because it's going to take longer than just sticking a plaster on. And it did take longer than just sticking a plaster. She
Because
didn't.
that motherfucker
Please,
moved like a
hang on,
snail.
hang on,
And also
hang
because
on,
they had to rationalize
on.
the choice that the umpire
Yeah,
Oh
made.
my
hang
god.
on,
Right,
hang on,
exactly.
hang on,
We don't
hang
have
on.
time for
No,
this.
no. Come on. What? So the umpire did exactly what was supposed to have been done. The medical team did the assessment. They took part of the 3 minutes of a timeout, patched her up, and she ran back onto the court. What Layla did is walk right up in front of her and started screaming about it right in front. That is really classless.
It's not
Really bad.
classless.
No,
It was
it's not.
classless of
No,
Emma. It was classless of
No, no,
Emma
no,
because
no,
you
no,
know
no,
what?
no, no.
Emma also understood. And you know what? Emma admitted it. She said she herself didn't even like the timeout because she was worried that she had gotten cold. So I actually think it was overreaching by the umpire to slow down the moment between those two women again. And
I
maybe
don't
it
think
was
so.
because she
Yeah,
was worried about her serve. And you know, that's what's so interesting to me is that both players were worried about the consequences of them stopping. And so
I
that
think
tells me it was a weird overreach.
and Pablo, you're
Andy
using
Roddick,
very
Andy
strong words
Roddick.
here to say screaming and classless. Look, the woman is in the finals of a US Open.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
she had break point.
Doesn't change the facts.
No, that's
No,
not
there's
classless,
no
Pablo.
classness. There's no classness about it in
About
that
that.
moment. They
Who
were both
cares
being
where
very
she was
competitive.
having her moment at? Who cares if she was right in front of Emma? Was she supposed to say, step over here and let us speak? At the end of the day, whatever it was, that took a long fucking time. She wasn't gushing blood.
And she
It
wasn't
wasn't dripping
screaming.
all over the court. You know, I think that she probably should have taken her towel to see if it was actively bleeding because, you know, sometimes you bleed. It dribbles down, you wipe it away, and that's it. You move on. She didn't do that. She went and she sat down, and she had the longest Band-Aid application in the history of the world.
And they
took
told
water.
her,
We went
they're
and
like,
we put
calm it down.
So
She took
now
hot
we're
water,
going to
she
move
took
on from
fuel.
this because
She
All
is
right,
someone
we're
who
gonna go
can-
on.
agree.
but
Okay,
moving
we're gonna
on.
move on.
We're
We're gonna move
moving
on.
on.
But you know what? It is what it is. I think everyone says it worked out fine. I think, you know, they embraced at the end.
That
But I did
trainer
see
is going to catch all
There
the
is,
hell.
there is,
He's
there
going
is,
to
there is.
Band-Aid school.
Yeah, there is. Let me say,
Nope.
there is bad blood between these two now. So
Do you think? No, I don't think
You
so.
know what? That was a really bad joke. So let's talk about
Anyway,
the
and
men.
yes, Ice Devil, you are absolutely right. That was hardly screaming. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on to the men.
To the men.
So
Overall, how did you
Yes.
feel about the men? I
I mean-
also enjoyed the men's side of the tournament as well. I enjoyed it.
Only up to the first week. The rest
No,
of the tournament
I mean,
became
look.
kind of weird. It was very like once the young Spaniard disappeared, the whole kind of gas fell out of that side of that draw. And
Well,
then
I
it
would
became
say-
more normal.
Well,
And
and
right.
then it
I would say
became
that
what
it's
it
true.
was.
It's true. That for
Yeah.
all the hype and whatever the case may be, the top two seeds got into the finals. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and the men's side.
I would say the one person who really disappointed me was Berrettini. I mean, I hope
Ugh.
none of
horrible.
I hope none of us are ever relying on him to provide a
Stop
an
Novak
orgasm.
anything. Ugh.
So
Well, you know, I would, to be fair, and I would put the same charge against the men's side. That what I noticed that none of these people seem to have done any homework. They had
What
no
do you
real
mean?
game plan about
Except the qualifiers.
Well, they've been watching the other players for long enough, I guess.
Exactly. You know what I mean? No one took a strategic, let me just rest up. I mean, Alvarez was doing that. Alcaraz was actually
Mhm.
doing that. Like, I'm going to take a strategic Spanish break, okay? You kill yourself up in the second set. And let me give an honorable mention to the craziest tiebreak I've ever seen in a long time. Seppi versus Vucevic in the first week. Look, I'm telling you, people had pressure, blood pressure, nerves, and whatever. I mean, if you were a fan of either of those people, you would have died. So, Andreen, to your point, the first week had some really crazy good matches. But again, I am I can't even say I'm disappointed in Felix because I've left Felix by the wayside. You're not lining your hair up and you're not lining up your game. You're coming out here and you are predictable as the morning sun. These dudes know what you're going to do every single day. I can't believe you are up 5-3, serving for the set, have set point, and you lost like 17 of the last 19.
Except you can believe it.
I mean, it's just like, you couldn't even take a set from Medvedev.
Well, he served for it. He served for that second set, but whew.
And to stay in the set, you know what homeboy did? You tell me what homeboy did with Sylvie. He got broken at love.
You know what? The two Canadians struggle with the same issue. Their serves. Double faulting like a champ. Both of them did.
Mm-hmm.
In the key moments. It was just, oh God, it was so painful. So painful to watch. And I was just like, just get it in, honey. Don't go for a big thing. I think he was going for an ace every time. I was like, it's okay, you can rally. He just didn't do it. And also all of the kind of court work and court coverage that he was doing in the TFO match, completely abandoned it in the Medvedev
because
match.
it's TFO.
Well, I mean, Medvedev plays a wonky game. He does play a wonky game, but at the same time, though, I mean, at least sustain some rally shots. Don't go, because the thing we know about Felix, right, is he will go big when it's unnecessary.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, sustain a couple of these rallies and see when you have an opening to take the shot.
Well, he does something I think is really crazy. He does this thing where he either goes big or then he just flops the ball and it goes in the middle of the net. Like he just on the power when this like he's only good for 3 shots.
He's not
good for 3 big shots, and then he just like womp 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 womp.
Him messy. Like Dennis, both of them are not clutch. And it comes down to this is what is separated. This is what has separated Serena and Rafa and Djokovic and Roger from everybody else. They in the moment they are clutch. That's it. They deliver.
Yeah. But you see, Pablo, I don't need them to be. I don't need them to be. We're naming greats. Okay, I don't need them to be great. Like Kyrgios says, not everybody could be these players, right? Because I mean, as we know, these players are going deep into the well to get where they are, right? They're working extra hard and they have extra resources to get there and do all the things that they're doing. What I need Felix to do is to make me believe he can win any match he's out there playing. Just like win a match. Like he is showing me that he could be top 10. But right now, I see Felix as, number 32nd seed at the majors. And I'm not even trying to be shady about it. I just don't think because his game is the same. Everybody knows what's coming here. And everybody comes on court, which is the unfortunate thing, thinking that they can beat Felix every single time.
But they don't. The point is, he got through 5 matches, playing pretty good tennis. When it came to the biggest moment of his career, he folded.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You know what? I was thinking about Felix. Listen, I think that the question for us is, because I don't think it's as extreme as what you're saying, Reels. I think Felix can comfortably get to the second week now. But when it comes down to quarters, semis, I think he's going to have to go a touch above where he's at. He should now feel comfortable.
He's young.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should now feel comfortable going, you know what? I made a really good run these last 2 slams. I should get myself to second week and now be able to really compete with the big boys. But I just, at no point in time did you think, we were excited. Somebody said in front of me, I just want this to go 4 sets. That's all everyone said about that Medvedev-Felix match. Can we get 4 sets here? So no one expected him to win, but they expected him at least steal 1 set.
I honestly never thought that he was going to trouble Medvedev.
But you know what? He could have. He could have at least troubled him for that extra 1 set.
Exactly.
I think what
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't see a lot of Medvedev throughout the tournament. I don't think I watched one full match of his. However, whenever the draw was being discussed or whatever, we just kept hearing about how solid he looked all tournament and how
Yeah, it
he
was
was
very
just,
comfortable,
moving
unbothered.
through easily. And you knew, I thought he was going to be hungry.
Well, he was. He said he was.
And yeah. So Felix wasn't going to be the one to stop him.
No. Felix, listen, it wasn't about, and I had to say, we were sitting beside I was sitting beside a bunch of Canadians. They were really sad at his performance. Not that they thought he could stop Meds. They didn't think he could stop Meds, but he beat himself that day. That's what was sad for him. Towards the end, his shoulders drooped. Yeah, he couldn't even win games. It was just really a poor showing for him. I think he felt badly for himself because once he lost the break of serve in the second, he just was not the same player. He mentally went away. And, that's fine. It was a bad situation. He probably lost his confidence, but it was really sad to see. That, I'm sure Medvedev was completely unbothered. You're right, Janina. There was no.
The two things I'd say to that. The first thing is about Medvedev. He's impossible to play. He is just like the Berlin Wall. It is so difficult to break him down. And Reels has mentioned this, I think, last week or whatever. There's just so much junk there that he throws.
Well, yeah, he does a lot with the ball. A little bit of
But he takes the racket back, and it could be an outer space, that racket on the back string. But when he connects with the ball, boom! And
he knows what he's doing.
Ugly. It's so ugly, but it's so effective. The thing that he did, and this is typical of what Roger used to do, but what Novak does all the time now, he wins the first 4 or 5 rounds of a slam in straight sets. He's very efficient. The only person who took a set off him was Botic von der Schonschloop, and that was because he dipped his level.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I did watch that match.
Highly efficient, and I think there's a point about playing Medvedev. You need to think deep strategy on him.
Yeah.
And these guys, and I wonder, I think we talked about this months ago. I wonder how comfortable these kids feel earning 5-10 million a year in prize money and maybe doubling that with sponsorships and everything, that they don't have the hunger to really go for the jugular on this. Well, I think of Felix a bit like this.
Matteo. I think they do. I think Matteo thought he said he and his team came up with a strategy for Nole. I couldn't see it. I mean, I guess the strategy was slice and falter with my serve, maybe. I mean, I couldn't see what he was trying to do because everything that he gave Nole could tee off of. So I didn't know what he thought he was doing that was going to make Nole comfortable. And that's when I realized that Matteo is basically great on grass, but on a hard surface, I don't understand how he is doing as well as
someone else said that on Twitter. It was just and to that point also, the umpire people on commenting on ESPN Plus are just like, look at Medvedev's forehand. Look at that. What is this?
Yes, it is so fucking ugly.
They're like, there is no torque in the body. It is all shoulder action. This is all his arm doing the work.
You know what?
But like I said to you, but you see, this is the thing. Medvedev has to look. You have to play in the moment that you are in. And what I think, to the point that I made about the women, no one seemed to have done any homework. I think the men just come out with the same attitude, right? I'm just going to survive on juice.
Were you talking about Medvedev, or were you talking about the Italian?
Both of them in the same way. I think this is where Medvedev separates himself from the other person, because though Medvedev has not really been in the conversation a lot, right? We've been up for much of the year, right? He has been there. Medvedev has not lost before the semis, I think, in any of the majors. I think he lost in the semis at Wimbledon or quarterfinals.
I think he did poorly at Wimbledon, because he said he was disappointed in himself in leaving so quickly. I don't think he did well. He didn't play up to his own standard.
We all expected his game to be amazing on grass, and then he flopped early.
But I mean, he realized, look, Berrettini and the others just seem to be I got a lot of Instagram followers. I'm big, I believe I could win, but but that's not enough, right? You have to bring something more. What I think Medvedev looked around and just like, look, this court is a top hit. I am 6'6" and with 150 pounds soaking wet with 2 bags of rice in my hand. I cannot blow these dudes off the court.
Nope,
Okay.
I can't.
Even Roger Federer at 40 is still hanging. I have seen how Nadal in his 30 is demoralizing these dudes, and Nole. I cannot out hit these dudes. What I need to do is to mix shit up. What did Roger do when everyone was serving like a big? Because remember when Roger came on early, it was the age of the big serve, right? You had Philippoussis, who was the person who won his first major from. Mix shit up. Mix shit up. You know what I mean? Don't give them the same ball twice. Junk. You know, I'm fit. I could run. I could get low. I can get high. That's what he needs to do. And Berrettini, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, look, you're winning, dude. You're winning, but I can't see a strategy out here. And I know Nola is out here. And look, and this is the thing that we've noticed, because this is why I had given Medvedev a strategy. Thank you for not listening to me, Medvedev. Is that Nola picks these boys off when he's ready, right? He's just like, y'all out here playing. Okay, that was cute for a second. Ow. And then all of a sudden, boom. It's like these people didn't even know how to play tennis. Look at Shapovalov, whatever his name is, Dennis. They're not the same people anymore. Plagianos, they are demoralized. And I mean, this is Plagiano's second time, because remember he said after that Nadal match in Melbourne in 2017, or sometime on 2018, I think it was, he was like, I don't know who that player is. That player who I played named Rafael Nadal is not, because he had just beaten Federer in 2018, I think it was, on 19. It's just like, what's his name, took him apart. Let's basically dismantle him. So I'm going to say, you know, like, good on Medvedev. This is a strategy that works. You save your body.
Well, it's a working strategy, because if you think about Novak, do not play him like ping pong, because you can't do it.
You can't.
So what you got to do is you got to do the thing that Brooksby did. Surprise him. You know, like the American kid. Like, I think you just have to keep Nole off kilter, and I think the most successful one at doing that is Medvedev at this point in time.
I just on part of the strategy of Medvedev today, I would say maybe 60% of the balls went into Novak's backhand, but it was just off center. So it cuts it's into his backhand side, but it doesn't give him the opportunity to create any angles. And then it would go wide to his backhand when Medvedev felt he could either come into the net or he could get him out of position. And he was very patient, and he stuck with the strategy, and it worked really, really well.
Medvedev plays a very similar game to Novak. And today, he out Novak. When he took that first set, it was so fucking clinical. I was like, this is not the same first set drop that we've seen. Novak was clearly like, I don't know what to do. He did not have a fucking clue, because every single thing that he was trying, Medvedev was just doing it better. And when he got up in the second set, I was like, that's it. That is it. Because Novak was feeling the pressure. Novak was nervous. He was making uncharacteristic errors, and Medvedev was solid as fuck.
Okay, let's get into that. Let's get into this, y'all, because I took a movie break, because that's what I did. So the moment got to Novak. Is that what you all are telling me?
Absolutely.
Finally.
But you know, but listen, he didn't play. No, wait a minute. He didn't play bad. Novak did not play bad. He was not. He wasn't horrible. He could have played better. And normally we see him in situations where he's down and he figures it out. He couldn't figure it out today. And when he was starting to figure it out, it was too late, because Medvedev was too close to the end, and he wasn't going to fuck it up twice, because he certainly fucked it up once. Thank you, New York, for cheering while he was serving.
Listen to me. We need to talk about the crowd, because they are horrible.
I was wondering if they were flown in from Paris.
Well, wait. First and foremost, I will say about this. Listen, you all have heard these people plead all week for this historic moment. This crowd was begged and prodded to recognize this as a historic moment. And let me tell you, I've been checking the prices, okay? I wasn't sure if I was going to buy tickets for the finals. And the prices for the finals were actually reasonable for a time. until
Yeah.
Nole got to that final. So any of those people, they were expecting
Wait, they
to see
went up when he
something.
got to
Yeah,
the
because
final?
it was historic now. Now they're
Okay.
like, okay, this is gonna be historic, you know? And so because I was looking, I was like, do I want to just shop on over there? No. Roe v was like suddenly $500 when last week it was $230. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I think to some extent these people showed up expecting a historic moment and they were willing to go on the ride with Novak. So tell me what happened with the crowd.
I think this is every year. It's the hardest slam to win because of this crowd. They are brutal. They're worse than the French. They're brutal.
Look,
Really,
listen,
really
they
brutal.
don't shut up.
And
They do not shut up.
Yeah, they absolutely don't ever shut up.
Listen to me.
But
These
I think
people
just
were
you
so
ask what
horrible. They were cheering the double faults like disgustingly. I mean, it's
It was a bit
double fault.
much.
Whose double faults were they?
Medvedev's.
Well, because they were in for the Novak Slam.
They were.
They didn't care before, but now they were talked to.
You know what? It was interesting. Even Novak said today I got more crowd support than I have ever gotten in New York. And it's true.
That's where you went wrong. You see, you should have played the villain instead.
Well, listen, they didn't care about him. I think they wanted to see history.
They wanted the moment. You know what? I'm so fucking glad we didn't get it. Let me have my moment. I did not fucking want this. I didn't want it. I don't like Novak. I have never liked Novak. This is not new. I didn't like Novak before he was fucking Novak. And I did not want this. And I am so glad that it was Medvedev that got to spoil it. Because you know what? I've liked Medvedev since he was like, I'm going to be your fucking tennis villain in New York 2019. And thank you, Medvedev, for throwing shade on that New York crowd and telling them you've been pushing me forward and helping me win since 2019. I love that.
You know what? That's fine because that's listen, it's New Yorkers. You know what? They got shit to do. So if you're coming and you're not bringing shit, they will let you know it. You got to entertain them. If they are not being entertained, they will be shutting you down.
Yeah, they are fans with the shortest fuses.
Corey said as soon as I saw Spike Lee, I knew Novak was done.
Lovely drama girl said Spike brought that Knicks curse. Listen, you know
let's talk a little bit about this though. I need to know a little bit because this was a big deal, and let's give the moment what it deserves. Janina is reveling in it. Reels, Pablo, like really, how were you all feeling? This is a big thing. They told us this was a big thing.
You see, I mean, I'm gonna go back to when I started this podcast, 2015, when Serena was going on her Grand Slam journey, whatever the case may be. And there is this idea, I think maybe it's some historical context that that masters of whatever they do, I'm thinking in terms of like performing arts and whatever, they do this great thing at the very end, right? And then they could walk away from their field thinking they've done great things. Like you can think of Mozart, you can think of Beethoven, you can think of like opera music, whatever art, whatever the case may be, that they finally honed their skill and got to the level of perfection and otherworldly. I don't think that people need to do those things, right? I don't think people need to create something to mean something other than, because it's taken away from the reality of the situation. So in 2015, I didn't think Serena needed to win a Grand Slam to prove anything. That girl had done the goddamn work already. Like Serena didn't even have to win another major after 2014 US Open when she got to 18. She didn't even need to win 18. But she had put in the work. And I think this is one that maybe we can generate a crazier news cycle because of the internet and social media, et cetera, but it makes these things. Nole is great. He got 20 fucking majors. 20.
Mm-hmm. But he did that to himself. He said
that. I mean, like, this was so unnecessary. It's the same. And what I don't understand, what I would say for Nole more so than I would say for Serena, it's just like, I'm like, dude, you should have prepared yourself for this moment way better than you did. I'm just saying.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Because
he cried?
Huh?
Because he cried?
I'm not even talking about that. That I mean, like, if this was a thing that you wanted, right? If this was something you felt was important
You
to
don't enter
finally,
3 events at the Olympics.
I'm not even talking about that. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, look, you know how I feel about the Olympics. It shouldn't even happen at all, right? But if this was really important to you, winning the Grand Slam, that you thought that you were the, as I think, hubris, because you meant it would have finally solidified that you were the GOAT and you would have had
Yep.
21 anyway, right? That was the thing. Again, this is an arbitrary thing. There is no GOAT award anywhere, okay? There is no GOAT credentials that, this is what you get to be the GOAT. But we just make up this random shit every other week because now people are saying Emma is the GOAT, right? She came from qualification and won a whole major. by
Nobody
herself.
cares. But let's move on
But
from that.
but
Let's go.
anyway, I just think, like, boo, you just signed recent memory in 2015. What happened to Serena? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have seen the pressure of like a whole bunch of other athletes. Prepare for this moment. Talk to your psychologist. Stop drinking crazy juice. You know what I mean? Get your vaccine. Prepare yourself for this moment because listen to me. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this again. I'm telling you what was mad with, I mean, like, look, I mean, listen to me. That crowd in that Serena, they were with Serena all the way. They choked her. You could feel that pressure with
Question.
but Nole, I'm just like, boo, you going to tell the tennis god that I tripped over Medvedev in straight sets for a
Wait a
Grand
minute.
Slam?
Novak had that crying, sobbing breakdown before the match was over. I thought that was after he left. That was before the last game? The sobbing into the towel?
You know what, though? Can I tell you, though? I mean, listen, Reels, I know you're asking the big question, but this was a thing. This was a journey Nole set for himself. I went to the movie theaters, to be honest, y'all, and Pablo, I'll let you talk. It's because, you know what? I was tired of the narrative. I was like, oh, God. Now this is the full extension of the narrative of the race between those three guys, right? And Novak was about to have this moment. And a part of me was like, I just don't want him to win it. Partially because I didn't want them to get that thing that they were like, this is the answer, everybody. I knew it all along, which I think Novak signed up for and his fans signed up for. This is the sign from the gods. And all I could think about when I heard that he faltered was, the king is dead. Long live the king. Okay? Yep. Because this was the world he shaped for himself. He has not looked like he has been enjoying himself at all on the court. It has been about the pinnacle, the peak. And he has said that. He's like, when the pressure is on, I perform better. That's just what I do. And so I love to see these kids in 5-set matches. And guess what happened? They choked him out in 3.
Listen, okay, let me answer your question about what happened.
No problem.
Firstly, first thing I do, you look at the stats, just like I do whenever Serena gets to Slam finals and doesn't win. His serve was under 50%. he where it's been up in 65, 67% for the rest of the tournament. He was charging the net, serve and volley. Maybe 20 plus times in this match, and he doesn't know more than 5 times in a 3, 4, 5 setter match. And he had a ton of unforced errors. Same story with Serena when she lost in finals. The numbers speak for themselves. His legs look weak. He looked out strategized, and I think he realized that Medvedev was going to take it off him today. Now, on the crying bit, he broke down at the last sit down before the final game. There was tears and he started crying. He mopped them up. And then after the match, he just started bawling his eyes out.
No medical timeout?
No medical timeout. And just on that, on that kid,
breaks.
Just on that kid, Meldonium is a bad luck charm.
So listen, we said we were keeping this tight. We're going to keep it tight. Novak lost. It's a good day.
But I mean,
let me just finish.
Wait. Let Pablo finish his point, please. Go ahead.
On Reels' point about prepare yourself for this moment, you can't.
I don't think you can.
You can be the greatest in the world, just like Serena was, and the moment will consume you.
Yeah, who did Serena trip over? We don't even see that girl no more. Vinci, exactly. We don't know her.
Look.
Sorry, no.
I mean, I hear you all.
Wait. Let him finish. Sorry. Go ahead.
You cannot prepare yourself for things that come along once every 50 years.
Well, he thought, but he didn't. But he didn't. He didn't map it out like that in his mind.
I
though,
think that
Pablo.
Novak
No,
thought
and that
he
is
had this
all about
shit
his.
in the
That is all.
bag.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he did too. I think he thought so too.
I think that narrative feeds his inferiority complex. I think it tells you a lot about his psyche, that he thought he had it in the bag, particularly when opposition dropped away, and the moment consumed him. And thank God it did.
Pablo, but you
Thank
see,
God it did.
but here's the thing, though, sir. Like 6 years ago, you saw that same shit happen. So that's what
But
I'm
she's a
saying.
girl. But she's a girl. I mean, come on.
I guess
You know how Novak. You know how Nole feel about
I
shit
guess
like that.
that's what I'm talking about. Preparing yourself for the moment. Because here's the thing, because athletes, this is the thing, athletes who do perform like, it's like a one-shot kind of thing, like let's say figure skating or gymnastics or like, one of those diving, whatever the case may be. They see psychologists because they have every 4 years kind of
He
thing,
has
right?
a psychologist, a
So-
guru, a fucking
Exactly. He has all of it.
everything.
Because
He
here's the
has
thing,
it all
here's the
already.
thing. Serena lost in a 3-set match, right? You know
Stop
what I mean?
bringing up Serena.
No,
I
I'm
don't
just
know what
listen.
it's about.
No,
Yeah, what's
no,
that about?
What I'm saying is just that she was contending there, right? Like, she had a shot to get to the finals, whatever the case may be. I'm just saying in this moment, Nole looked defeated from the very first ball. He got broken in the very first game, 7-3.
The pressure.
And listen to me, the New York crowd gave Nole 4 games in that third set because that could have easily been a breadstick.
Oh, God, we should have seen more of that. Oh man, I might have to go watch that on tape, y'all.
You should watch it. It was amazing.
I don't think Nole would have recovered had it been a breadstick because
I don't know that it recovers from the loss.
This is the
Period.
crazy thing about this.
Oh, he recovers. He recovers. You know what? He's gonna go home and say, "Listen," he's like, "The Grand Slam is done, but I'm still going to my happy place, the Australian Open."
Wait, you're going?
And no, him. He's gonna say, "I'm going to my happy place,"
Girl,
and maybe
they got rules for you to
and he's like, and maybe I might get a broken Rafa or a Fed across from the net. I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna avoid Medvedev. But I have to say, congratulations, boys and girls. The boys double teamed on Nole. The boys, one person said, "Let me snap your Olympic dreams." And then that same that same boy said, "Well, I'm gonna drag you into a 5-set on Friday night." Meanwhile, Medvedev had no time and did it in 3 sets and was in his bed under blankets, rested.
What did Medvedev say? Medvedev said after his match against Felix, he's like, "I'm gonna go home and eat some popcorn and watch." That's what I'm going to do. And let us not forget my boy Pablo Carrera Busta, who let Nole leave Tokyo without nothing but memories and some pictures. That's it, though. No medals, just memories.
Okay. As we go out, who's feeling sorry for Nole at all in the chat on this podcast? Anybody feeling a little bit of? Oh wow! Oh damn!
No one feels sorry. Even the Novak fans in the chat don't feel sorry for him.
But they're listening though because I'm doing the count.
Let me just say something about, because we touched on Nole's psyche and the things that he does and how he behaves. We look at, he hasn't been able to fulfill this goal of his for him to prove how much more superior he is than Rafa and Roger and all the rest of them. He's also started off on this nonsense PTPA thing, and let's see that probably.
Oh my God! Pospisil also suffered loss by sitting in that box. Was Pospisil there? Because I hope Pospisil was there to watch that loss.
I mean, Pospisil was there to warm up Novak before every single match.
And that's where he went wrong. Oh,
another unlucky chump. You also see him coming out with these crazy.
Oh, he had that was a bad fluffer. You don't have that kind of fluffer. You need a real fluffer.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he narrows his focus, drops all this crap that if he can get over this hump of him trying to prove that he is better than everybody else, and he may put it in. We may be at the same position this time next year. He's got at least 2-3 good years of him.
Nope.
Another Grand Slam? I don't see that in him.
No,
that seems to take a lot out of him.
Listen to me. The Grand Slam takes a lot out of you. I
Yeah,
mean,
it don't take.
like
It
I
takes a
said,
lot out of me.
Listen. I
we
think
we could
he'll
load
go
the
away. He won't.
signals.
I don't think he'll go to Indian Wells because he'll have to be vaccinated for that. He will stop his
Mm.
season now. He will focus on his body, and he will
You have
come
to be
back
vaccinated
because
to go to
that's the way.
Melbourne. They're not letting you when you've been unvaccinated. They will not let that boy into that country being
Listen.
unvaccinated.
Well, he said unless it becomes mandatory, he will.
Mhm.
Listen, everybody will respond when it becomes mandatory. But that's
Mhm.
what the PPTA could. That's what the PTPA could do. Carrie was like, "Does it affect us as fans? Not really, not yet."
And
Um,
the reason why I'm not sad that he didn't make it is fuck you to every single commentator who said we needed to stand up and salute this guy. Go
yeah.
fuck yourselves.
Oh
Go
shit.
fuck yourselves.
Mm.
All right. Okay.
Janina, can we
Well,
have can you feel it's a brand new date from the Wiz when Evelina died and they
oh, but
it's
you know what?
Broadway. It's
This has
Broadway.
been
This is
wonderful,
Broadway.
y'all.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
wonderful. It
overall,
was
I mean, like
good.
there
It
shouldn't
was
have been
good.
crowds. I am all for the US Open not having crowds anymore. You people behave too badly. But I guess y'all feel like y'all got your money's worth. I know many of you in there with fake vaccination cards and US Open, y'all were not checking that shit. And there's no way to really check it. And I really hope that people are safe because
Well, so what I'm curious about, because I didn't see the match and I'm gonna now go look at it.
mhm.
What is the score line that Nole fans should now see flash across their eyes every time they flash up 4015 to Federer fans? What should we see across the screen every
Oh,
time
we
they
should do a gif of the tears. We
what
should do
is
a gif of the tears.
what is the thing that we should do when a Nole fan comes in our timeline and says 4015? What should we do? What is the
I could,
moment?
I mean,
This
I
is-
would say
Just tweet them that crying video.
I
Okay.
mean,
That's all I want to
I
know.
could say, or you could say, I could say, Tennis, your Yehovah saved you from the breadstick. You could have get a breadstick. So just relax. It could have been 6-4, 6-4, 6-1.
I'm definitely
So
gonna save that. I'm saving that Nole crying gif though. That's wonderful. We're gonna use that next time
they
somebody
all
comes in
cried.
my
Isn't that
timeline.
really crazy? You know, like let them all feel it. I'm happy. So you know what? And I'm happy. You know what? This is just another major where nobody passes 20. And I hope that this continues. Let them all
I
stay at
know.
20.
I hope they all
Let
stay
the
for
chil-
that 20.
let the children, let the other children get in on these majors, okay? Because they're far more fun.
I
They're far
like
more
Tony's.
interested. You know, I love Federer, but Federer is not interested in the mic in that moment. He's grinning, he's
Uh,
laughing. But you know what? I need these children to be crazy. You know, not
well,
too
you know
crazy,
what?
not
Now
too
Tony's
crazy.
already given a vote. Tony said anytime someone comes at us with 4015, we need to say 27-1.
Oh,
Yep.
that's Tony. As always, Tony comes up with the. Let me see something. Tony is a
Oh,
shady
that's
bitch.
actually
Actually, you could do 27-1 times 2 because that's what happened to him in the year when he
Oh my
lost in the
God.
French
All right.
but
Say
won the
Oh,
US Open.
damn.
it's a great day. Say goodnight.
Give us the song, Janina. Take us out.
Can you feel the brand new day, Janina? That's it.
Can you feel a brand new day?
Yes.
Aw.
So that wraps up our Broadway
It's a
team.
great
As
day.
always, Reels is on the money. We are always on it. I mean, like, look.
They
Look,
even had Broadway singers at
Aw.
the Open.
Oh, that's
and
true.
they were off key as always.
Don't tell me them bitches ain't listening to
But
us.
hang on, he was out of tune. It was
Oh, I
We don't
dreadful
need to
that
talk
song.
about that. Stop it.
Oh,
I wasn't
I'm
gonna bring that
hurt.
part up.
Aw.
All right,
So
good
thank
night,
you
all.
all
It's
for
been a
listening
wonderful
in. As
fortnight.
always, you can always keep us the commentary going. I mean, no haters, you can bring it. I don't care. I mean,
I
tennis,
think
you
they're.
hope I
I think
delivered.
I think they're feeling a little sad tonight. You'll come back out tomorrow with the 4015.
I mean, how is this
It'll be
stat
okay.
gonna go? I mean, I can't wait for the new charts though. Woo, that's gonna be interesting. How are you gonna deal with this one though? How are you gonna deal with this one?
Oh my
But you know
God.
what? Hey, we
The
all
Russian.
fall short, Nole fam. We all fall short. We all do.
Well,
Just get
And
vaccinated.
and congratulations to
the ladies.
both Emma and
Teen
Lena
Dreams.
and Danny.
Who's Danny?
Medvedev.
Daniel.
Oh, Danielle. Oh, and
Yeah.
also, I'm so sorry. I saw that Makoko lost, but Stoser at least won a
Yes,
slam in
Sosa and her
doubles.
Open
girlfriend
match.
won,
I
and
did see
this
a
might
little
be
bit of it.
Sosa's last major. And how
Aw.
wonderful it is at the U.S. Open where she won her first major, And also, she went out with her girlfriend. How wonderful. I mean, what a
Oh,
wonderful time for Scosa.
oh Lord, Lord, I'm gonna leave you.
Say goodbye.
Bye,
Bye.
girl.
Sunny in the Juanita.